Today we answer that age-old question. What is a perfect knife to carry on an everyday basis? Let's go find out. Hello, and welcome back to Blade Insider. Today I want to talk about what makes the perfect everyday carry knife. And I'm going to tell you what my perfect everyday carry knife is. Now, again, this is my opinion, and my opinion's likely to change. But for right now, and really for the past several months, this has been my perfect everyday carry knife. You may agree with me, or you may disagree with me. Leave your comments down in the section below. I'd love to read them, and I'd love to hear your opinion as to what makes the perfect everyday carry knife. If you like the video, hit the like button, and please subscribe to our channel. Everyone is probably familiar with traditional slip joint knives. You're familiar with the case Stockman or a buck knife. These traditional folders filled our pockets on an everyday basis. When I first started collecting knives, I focused on the traditional folders. However, ever so slowly, I became familiar with modern knives. Now, modern knives have characteristics that make them the perfect everyday carry tool. One, you have to be able to open it with one hand. That's where traditional knives fail with me. I don't like the nail nick. I don't like using two hands to open my knife. And sometimes those nail nicks can be hard to open. Next, you got to be able to close it with one hand. And more importantly, you got to be able to close it safely. A lot of knives will have the blade fall on top of your index finger when closing. So the knife blade has to be designed to be able to be closed safely. Third is the knife has to fit in the watch pocket of your jeans. Now, I carry a big phone, and I don't want my phone and my knife in the same pocket because I don't want to get it scratched up. If a knife fits in the watch pocket, you can easily fit your phone in your jeans and not have to worry about it being damaged. Now, the fourth characteristic, and this is a differentiator among these ultralight knives nowadays, is that the knife has to feel solid. A lot of knives out there are being made with plastic, or fancy names like Grivory or FRN. To me, they don't feel substantial enough to handle like heavy work that could happen on a daily basis. The knife that checks all these boxes for me is a Spyderco Lil Native. Let's go to the bench and check out this knife. Let's take a closer look at this knife. It's a 2.5 inch full flat ground blade. Blade material is CPM S30V steel. We have G10 scales, a full back spacer which incorporates a locking mechanism. We have a standard Spyderco 3-screw clip. That's a 4-way clip. It can be positioned for both right and left-handers. Now inside there is no steel liner, but the G10 scales are thick enough that gives the knife a sturdy, solid feel to it. You can see there's no jimping along the finger choil or on the back end. The finger choil is a pretty substantial finger choil that allows me to get 4-finger solid grip on the knife. Now, while there's no jimping on the back spine or in the finger choil, the texture of the scales provides enough grip to make this knife feel solid in my hand. Let's go to the tail of the tape and discuss the knife's measurement. The overall length of the knife is just under 6 inches, and the closed length is about 3.5 inches. The blade length is just under 2.5 inches, and the cutting edge is just over 2 inches. The blade thickness is 0.125 inches, and again, it's made out of CPM S30V steel. The knife has a plain edge with a satin finish, and the handle material is G10. Importantly, the knife weighs only 2.1 ounces. So instead of just throwing numbers at you, let's compare this with other knives. This is a Dragonfly from Spyderco. A little longer in the blade and a little longer in stock as well. Again, this is the FRN material, whereas we have the G10, which is a more substantial solid feel to it. And then we'll compare it to the bigger brother, the Delica. Delica has a bigger blade and also a bigger handle. All three knives are lockbacks. We'll compare this to a knife that gets little love, the Kershaw Leek. Again, the Leek's blade's longer with the longer handle. And we'll finish with the Benchmade Bug Out. The Bug Out has the longest blade of all with the longest handle. However, again, compare the G10 material to the FRN or Grivery plastic material of the Bug Out. When I'm comparing blade steels, I often look at 4 characteristics: ease of sharpening, edge retention, toughness, and corrosion resistance. In looking at the difference between VG10 and S30V steel, VG10 is slightly easier to sharpen, but S30V steel will keep its edge longer and is slightly tougher. Both knives are pretty good in regard to corrosion resistance, rating 7 on a 10 scale. Now let's go back to the bench and see why the Lil Native is my favorite everyday carry knife. Why do I like this knife so much? Well, first of all, it's a slicer. It's going to cut through anything. It is a solid and substantial knife. It's going to hold up against heavy work. You can take this on the job site, you can take this out camping, on hikes, wherever, and it will last you. The other thing I love about this knife is that you can easily open it with one hand and shut it with one hand. And how it's shutting, it's falling right on my finger with the finger choil. Every time. So I don't have to worry about this sharp edge slicing open my finger. Let me tell you another reason why I love this knife so much. When I carry knives, I like to carry them in the watch pocket of my jeans. The Lil Native fits perfectly in this watch pocket. Comes in and out very easily. This allows me to take my phone and put it in the front pocket of the jeans, thereby eliminating the knife from damaging the phone or the phone damaging the knife. I came across the Lil Native by luck. I had purchased another knife and this knife came with it. Now, I carry the Lil Native all the time and never carry the other knife. Just goes to show you that sometimes a good knife falls in your lap. Other reviews have claimed that this knife is a niche knife, or they don't know where this knife fits within Spyderco's lineup. I think it's a perfect everyday carry knife, and I think that most people who give it a shot will agree with me. So what do we learn? Well, we learn what's important to me in terms of an everyday carry knife and what my 4 characteristics are in making that determination. We learned that, to me, the Lil Native is the perfect everyday carry knife. If you don't own one of these knives, I hope you'll consider it. Let me know whether you think that it's the perfect everyday carry knife. Make your comments down in the section below. And again, if you liked the video, hit the like button. Also ring the bell to be notified of new content and subscribe to our channel. We plan on putting out new videos on a weekly basis.